What's going on, guys? It is Cheeks, usually Gimme Cheeks. That's my character name and Discord name in pretty much every game I play, but I am mildly concerned about getting on the bad side of the YouTube overlords before I even get started with this channel. Um, Coming to you live. Oh shit. I didn't plan this out at all, but I've decided to go ahead and shoot my shot with YouTube. Um, so this is kind of a first video. I have a topic in mind, but also just wanted to preface what this channel is going to be about. Primarily, I am interested in gaming, also like anime and a little bit of Warhammer. Uh, Also, just like to yap, so probably going to get some rants in here. Currently, the game that I'm fixated on and most excited for is Monster Hunter Wilds. I think that it's me and probably millions of others are at unbearable levels of stoke right now for this game. Um, but I also have some concerns, so that is what I'm going to be talking about today. Um, so this game comes out February 28th, so a little bit over a month away, and I have been avoiding actual video content like the plague. I don't like having monsters spoiled too much. Obviously, I've seen some thumbnails, but I like to have that first exposure be on actual launch day. I haven't played the betas, and I don't intend to. I have listened to and read information about some of the features that are being introduced and some of the features that are being removed. And I am a bit of a boomer. Not actually, I'm only 28, but like boomer preferences with my video games. And I am very, very concerned about a lot of the, I guess, accessibility features or quality of life features. Keep in mind, I am a World baby. So I came into the game with World, played Iceborne, then played a little bit of Generations Ultimate, then Rise came out, played through Rise, played through Sunbreak. So definitely a new age hunter. I guess you would call us fifth fleeters. But I did recently just buy a 3DS, and I'm planning on playing Monster Hunter 4. Anyways, that is kind of my bar. That is my reference material. Is everything from World onwards, and then going back retroactively and sort of playing the older games. That I'm not gonna lie, I struggled. And I know a lot of the veterans to the series kind of look down on the World babies, and they were probably having the same worries that I'm having going into Wilds, going into World, and then the same gripes with the game as kind of accessibility and quality of life was introduced. But there's just certain features in Monster Hunter that, in my opinion, give Monster Hunter its flavor and its quirk. And a lot of those are inconvenient, but they make you love the game. And I kind of have reconfirmed that recently by replaying World. Uh, and trying to sharpen in the moment that I whip out the whetstone and having a monster aggro onto me, turn around, stop whatever it's doing, and kick the shit out of me because it noticed I was trying to sharpen. Pisses me off in the moment, but it's funny, especially when you're hunting with friends. Um, so some of the main concerns I have is I heard one, they're cutting down on sharpening time. Two, I'm not sure how I feel about the mounts or the open world format. I think we'll see. Um, Initially, what I was hearing was some trepidation around it, and then as people actually got to test out the beta, they opened up to it more. And I mean, knowing the Capcom team, they probably did implement it well, but still a little bit of concern because I got super burnt out on like Zelda, Breath of the Wild, and Skyrim, and just I feel like everything after Skyrim went open world, and it doesn't necessarily need to be open world. So if they're able to pull off an open world without sacrificing a lot of that detail and that immersive like world building, because like again, I think about ancient forest, I think about Coral Highlands, and that's just like packed with endemic wildlife. It's packed with detail, um, and you really feel like you're in it. But if they're able to retain that while having it be open world, then dude, fuck it, we ball. Uh, but I really hope that that's not lost with that transition. Another concern that I have is the removal of things like I think there was talk about removing hot drinks and cold drinks. I'm not positive. I know that they're planning on cutting down sharpening quite a bit and the requirement to sharpen. And I think the single biggest thing that I'm not happy to hear is that they're majorly reducing the significance of tracking. I think I heard that you need to track it one time and then you're good. You just drop in, you see the map or monster on the map every time. And I'm not going to bash on Rise too much because I do think it has redeeming qualities and I did enjoy it overall. I just didn't enjoy it as a Monster Hunter game. If that makes sense. But one of my biggest gripes with it was dropping in on the map and immediately seeing where all the monsters were. Um, and I think this is kind of the thrust of my, like, all of my other issues stem from this one aspect, which is I enjoy the hunting simulation aspect of Monster Hunter. It's not just a monster fighting game. And again, I know people have said this. I'm just airing my grievances and trying to set the tone for the type of content that I'm going to be pushing out moving forward. But that is my primary thing with Monster Hunter. I do love the fighting. I love the monsters, but I also love how much effort is put into making those monsters feel realistic. Like Pookie Pookie is a prime example for me. First time you encounter him, it just feels like he fits in the ancient forest. He's eating the poison fruit. He's got that long lizard tongue, and I remember hearing that the Capcom team, the Monster Hunter team, flew to Australia or New Zealand or something, some place with insane wildlife to go look at a bug or some shit for an endemic piece of wildlife in a Monster Hunter game, which I love that. That's sick. Um, and I don't want to lose that. I think that stuff like that is what makes the game for me. That simulation. Um, and there was just a lot of little things in World that were lost in Rise, in my opinion, that really kind of contributed to that simulation aspect. I think, the endemic life, part of it, I don't remember what those birds were, like spirit birds, where you had to build your stats. I feel like that was the Rise attempt at making endemic life significant. I personally found it extremely irritating. Um, but I loved in World dropping in and going around, picking up all the endemic wildlife, picking up all the herbs, and crafting what you could out of it. And it felt like the more you learn the map and the more you learn the environmental traps and that sort of thing, it was very rewarding because you could use that to your advantage in a hunt. And kind of circling it all back, I'm a bit scatterbrained. This is not going to be one cohesive from start to finish rant. It's going to branch and sidetrack a lot. I'm sorry. But tracking was a big part of that for me. It made it feel real. Like you go into a map, you don't know what's out there yet. Well, I mean later on you do, but you don't know where it is and you're running around the map, you're searching. You kind of memorize okay, this monster tends to spawn around this area. So that's a rewarding aspect of doing it multiple times, but the first time I just kind of like that feeling of you don't know where the hell it is. You just drop in, you don't know what's out there. It's a foreign world. You've got to explore. You found a track, you don't know what the track is. So now you're winding through this area and you don't know the way and you're looking for tracks and eventually you turn the corner after your scout flies finally pick up the track and it's a monster you're like, what the hell? Versus in Rise dropping in on a map. You see the question marks, you hop on your mount, zoom over, oh, that's not my target, zoom over, oh, that's not my target, and then you find your target. I think it was great for an action game. Again, all I'm going to say about Rise, I didn't hate the game. I just missed the simulation of hunting. That was the reason why I didn't enjoy it as much as World. Was literally just I wasn't immersed. It was a really fun combat game, but I wasn't immersed. Anyways, I know the developers have said that that's a big focus for them is immersion. I'm just really hoping that if they're pushing making the game more convenient, they don't go the direction of Rise. I hope they kind of keep it around World level because it seems like World was really cut down compared to older games anyways. And I hope that when they're cutting out some of the features that they view as inconvenient, they don't cut out so much that it's no longer necessary to learn the game, and learn the world, learn the map, learn the routes, and track, and just get invested. Because I think when you make things too simple, eventually it doesn't even require a brain, and then what's the point in playing? Obviously, that's an extreme, and I'm being hyperbolic, but yeah, I hope the soul of Monster Hunter isn't lost as we move forward in a constantly attempting world of cutting down and making things more convenient. That's all. Thanks for watching, guys. Like and subscribe. Hopefully, I can start pushing stuff out every couple weeks. We'll see what happens. I think ideally the schedule will probably be like every 2 weeks. I work 9 to 5. But yeah, that's all for me. Have a good one.